about my grandfather. He gave me the only copy of a recipe that had been in my family since 1956. My name is Charlynda Scales. I'm the founder and CEO of Mutt LLC, and I'm also a major in the United States Air Force Reserve. Service is in our DNA. My grandfather's name is Charlie Farrell Jr., and he went into the Air Force in Korea and Vietnam as an aircraft mechanic. They called him Mutt for his ability to blend in anywhere. And he was very obsessed with the concept of not being wasteful with condiments. So he wanted to make one sauce for all. You can put it on your eggs, your steak, you can do anything with it. After he passed away, it was about 8 years before I learned that I had inherited the recipe.
The original recipe is actually sweet and spicy.
2019 was looking great. I had not hit 6 figures in sales yet, and I really was pushing hard towards it. In March of this year, right when I had my son David, the pandemic hit. So here I am with a new baby, no revenue. I'm operating with Mutt Sauce as if it's a startup because we had to start completely over. I changed my business model to e-commerce. We're about $30,000 in sales. It's almost reinvigorating as an entrepreneur to keep the learning process going, to find new ways of serving your customers. My grandfather told me something when I was a kid. He said, humility will take you farther than money. It was just a heart of service and to make an impact in people's lives, and that's all you need.
Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to Leaders Lead, the podcast. I'm super excited. I got somebody today for you that I am truly inspired by. I know y'all hear me say that a lot, but I'm not bringing nobody on this show that does not bring me inspiration. Nobody that does not leave me like staying up late at night doing research on, trying to learn from. You can ask my wife. I'm not lying, folks. Last night, the night before that, and the night before that, I was up doing a deep dive on this woman right here today. I'm truly inspired by her. Charlynda Scales, the CEO of Mutt Sauce. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Tony.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm excellent. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me. This is I was looking forward to this conversation too, because I love what you do with your podcast. You have some amazing guests, and I'm just really honored to be a part of the lineup. So,
ooh, thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. I'm excited that you said yes. I'm excited that you said yes. Now, this is amazing. Like I told you before, I like to have conversations. You don't have to worry about me trying to kick up no dirt. This ain't that kind of podcast. For the viewers that are looking at this, go ahead and turn it off. If you're looking for drama, this is about pure. Maybe we got some drama. No, this is about pure inspiration. This podcast, I was sharing this with Ms. Scales before. This podcast has meant so much to me. It's changed my life, and I'm not just saying that because it sounds cool to say. I'm saying that because I get to speak to incredible people every week, Thursday and Friday, incredible people like the CEO of Mutt Sauce. And I was thinking when we were playing that video that I stole from NBC, I acquired it. You've worked with Marines before. We steal stuff all the time, right?
Hey.
But yeah. I saw some really cool emotions when you were watching that video. What was going on?
I think that the journey, sometimes when you look at it, just really stop and look at how far you've come. It is that humility that I was talking about that my grandfather emphasized. The whole journey is a blessing, that you ask for things and it might not happen in the time that you expect, but it happens if you believe enough, if you work hard enough, It'll happen. Even my baby, like I'm about to be 40 next month. Okay. Like,
Congratulations.
thank you. I had my first kid at 39 after years of being told, like, you might not ever have kids. And there I was with my baby in my arms. So, I look at how, life just, these things manifested. It just made me super happy.
Oh, I can tell. And just because of your expression, I think what I'm going to start doing is because my brain is always working. What can I do to make this show better? What can I do? But I wish the viewers would have had the opportunity to see your face light up. And because all I was thinking about was, man, she has a story. I know she has a story because your face, it told another story. You were proud of yourself. I can tell that, you were thinking about some ups and downs. I know when they were showing your grandfather, there was some emotions. When you were talking about your grandfather, I had some emotions. My grandfather passed away a few years ago, and I can walk. He never even been in this house before, but I can walk and I can hear his voice say certain things or certain moments. Do you ever have those moments?
They're always with you. I just really feel like what they instilled in you, it just makes them, that's the eternal part of it. I think they're always with you, even if they're not physically here. I could be sitting in a negotiation and I can hear him in his thick country accent, like, Tutti Frutti, now you know better. That's what you do. You feel that they're there in some way still with you.
Yeah. My grandfather, I remember because I used to catch the bus to their house when I was younger. Maybe it wasn't the bus, but I would remember getting out of my grandmother's car or catching the bus. And my grandfather would always be sitting on the porch, right? He would always be sitting on the porch smoking his doobies, right? Smoking his doobies. And he would say, hey, what you know good?
What you know?
And what you know good? And I would say, oh, nothing, Daddy Robert. That's what we call it. I say, nothing. And he go, you mean to tell me that you've been out of this house for all of these hours and you don't know a damn thing? You go back to school. But yeah, I hear those moments. And, I think about, before I wake up and before I get done, what did I learn today? And it's been a journey for me professionally. And I know that it has for you. You're a major in the Air Force, correct?
Yes. I went back into the reserves at the same time. Like the beginning of 2020 was a lot of changes, adjustments. And I still had probably 7 years left on my reserve contract, to get my retirement. And I didn't realize that they'd actually, I don't know if I got kicked out inadvertently out of the military just from being inactive from the time I was pregnant to then. But they're like, oh, no, you're actually not even assigned on base. I said, well, how am I going to pay for it? I was thinking about my health care and everything. And they said, if you want to go back in your uniform, you need to go down to the recruiter's office. Like, that's the only way to get back in.
Wow, you had to start all over pretty much, other than the rank, right?
Yeah, I said, well, see you at the recruiter's office. So I went down to the recruiter's office and told them, I said, I want to serve. And like, you're an easy case because we're now having to convince people hardcore, like going to the military. And you're just like, sign me up. Where do I sign up? Give me an assignment. So.
Wow.
It didn't take him long. It didn't take him long to get me back in there.
Yeah. So you probably had the uniform still at home and everything, huh?
Yeah. Ooh. I had to raise my right hand just like we did in the beginning. All of it, all over again.
Was it nervous doing it again? Because I've thought about it, but then I'm like, man, I'll have to like start working out again.
Now, I will say to the advantage of many people, they have pushed out the mandatory PT test to 2022 for the Air Force.
Oh, wow.
So when I first got in and they said,
hey, Marines, don't start. I know that they watching. I know that, yep, don't start. Because, you know, the Air Force, Marines, you know, go ahead, my bad.
You know, hey, it's the Air Force. I take everything that comes with that. It's okay.
We all wish we could have been able to join the Air Force. At least I know. But go ahead, my bad.
But yeah, I was like, okay, they pushed it out, but don't play around, because when you have to take that thing, they're going to expect you to pass. I have had enough time to sit around in my sweats and eat chips. So
I love it. I love it, man. That's pretty cool. That you're willing to go. That you're willing to go back in. That's funny. I know when I joined in 2001. I was in boot camp when 9/11 happened, and I remember all of a sudden, like a bunch of people were trying to join. So it's kind of like the opposite now, then, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the latest events in the country has kind of, you either have one or another. You have people who have a surge of patriotism. They want to go in, they want to contribute. Then you have some that are kind of concerned because, like, are we going to be at war, and with who? Because at one point it was Iran, then it was China, then it, you know, so it kind of makes some of the, you know, talking to some of the younger folks, they're like, I don't want to go in if there's all this stuff happening. But you just kind of have to give them a different perspective. It's not that you're not going to have any experiences that are going to be tough, because you are signing up to defend the Constitution with all that you have. And people have made sacrifices domestically and abroad. But
Wow.
I can't say that I haven't absolutely loved my time in the military. It's almost hard for people to give you the whole, like, thank you so much. I'm like, man, I had so much fun. I don't even know if it can't, like, I had a good time.
Yeah. No, I agree. We get a lot of cool stuff. We go through a lot of cool stuff. I mean, I was just spent some time with some Marines over the weekend in DC, and man, it was amazing to see how good some of the Marines that I served with are doing. It was amazing to see that camaraderie. A lot of these guys, when I say I served with, I never served with them a day in my life, but it was almost like it was this, you know, this humanhood that was so amazing. I mean, I had dudes I never even met before. Hey, meet me in the lobby, like bossing me around, and the same thing. Hey, you're gonna eat. Have you ate today? Like literally, like text messages. Have you ate today? Or what's going on? Hey, we miss you. And like, and I'm just like, yeah. Like, do you get that camaraderie? Did you miss that camaraderie when you were out?
Yeah, I think when I first went into the reserves, it was a little bit abrupt adjustment, because active duty life and reserve life is really different. I'm a, what they call it, individual mobilization augmentee, an IMA. So it's different from the reservists that do drill on weekends. I basically don't look any different than an active duty troop. Plus, my background is program management, and you're usually in an office setting instead of, like, you know, out there in operational world. So it was really kind of strange just showing up to an office building, and there's maybe like one or two military people in the whole building.
Oh, wow.
Looking at you like, are you lost? Do you need I'm like, I'm here on duty. On duty. Yeah. Yeah. I'm on duty. This is active duty for me. So
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. That's pretty cool. And how long do you have until you get out?
I now have about 5 years till I can retire. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. It's been really great. And, you know, there's just not, you're used to seeing a lot of military. You're used to being around your brothers and sisters. So I've tried to keep that connection, not so much with my reserve job, but as a veteran entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So the veteran entrepreneur tribe is pretty tight.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. It is. I need to do a better job of, and that's what I noticed, you know, over the past couple of weeks, is I need to do a better job in reaching out to those veterans, because, you know, me and a serial entrepreneur starting that, there's a lot of veterans that are doing some of the things that I suck at. And I'm just like, I might as well utilize them. It's funny. I was talking about being at the 9/11 ceremony. You and I were on a panel before with Chef Rush.
Yes.
It just hit me. That is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When I hit you up, did you remember me from that panel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I
was like, wait a minute. Is he the podcast is what had me kind of like, I know him, but was he a podcaster? I thought he was doing something else, but you're so multifaceted. You're so multi-talented. I was like, I know that was Tony.
I don't know about talented. I just do stuff. I just do a bunch of stuff that I like talking to people like you. Yeah.
Yeah, but we did do that panel together with Chef Rush. I think that was a great discussion too. I like that they had brought us together to even have the talk.
Yeah, I thought it was really, really cool. And yeah, I think, and after that, it's so weird. It just clicked. I started looking at some of the stuff that you were doing, and I'm like, man, I love that story because I might have been transitioning from like working for somebody to working for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at your journey because it's very well documented, as you know, anybody can see. You know, I stole that from anywhere, but if you Google your name, there's all kind of stuff that come up, which I think is freaking amazing. And that's why it's so easy to go down a rabbit hole. You're killing it.
I'm trying. I am trying. Well, you know, I think it's tough when you're in it to see everything, like all the impacts you might have made. Because for me, I have a vision in mind of where I want to see the company go. I have a vision in mind of what I want to do in my local community, because now I'm in Dayton, Ohio. And I have a vision for what I want to put in place for my son. So when I look at the vision and look where I'm at, it looks like a very long road. So sometimes I have to get the whole like snap out of it. You're doing okay. You know, you're doing all right where you're at. But I was like, but I have so far.
You're so humble.
So far to go.
Quit playing. I see you on QVC. I seen you hanging with the homeboy Damon John, which he's going to be on the show here soon. But
cool.
Yeah, I reached out, begging people. I got to do what I got to do, but to bring the best to the viewers. But you killing it. Come on now.
Thank you. Okay, I will just say thank you. Good.
You better take it. We need to hear that. And I'm glad that you said that. I talked to a lot of people that, they have this vision, just like you, like this vision that's coming from their heart. They have this deeper and divine purpose. Sometimes it's hard to see and just look around and be like, damn, I might not have made it where I wanted to, but I'm so ahead of the game than I was yesterday, the day before, and or the years before. Yeah.
I definitely see the evolution. I'm grateful that I kind of have some of those things under my belt that people might have considered a rock bottom or a tough spot in life, because without that, I wouldn't have a reference point for, that was hard, but you overcame that. So give yourself some, add to your own confidence that the road might be hard, but you're capable. You don't have to feel qualified to be qualified to do what you're doing. Ooh. So yeah, it helps. It helps to take a pause and look back and say, yeah, you did that. You did that.
Yeah. I noticed I was looking when I was in my tunnel. I was looking, and you said bouncing back from rock bottom. That's one of your speech titles that you give. Mm-hmm. And I was just, first thing that I thought was, oh my God, that's amazing that she's using her story to inspire others, because I feel like what we do a lot of times when we're considered a success or we're on the journey of success, we don't talk about that stuff. Is there something in your story that people walk away from and they're just like, wow?
Well, I think the first time that I gave that keynote about rock bottom. So, I was telling them, if you believe in something bigger than yourself, and I say that as a prompt because loneliness and feeling like it's overwhelming is usually when people get in this mindset that they're all alone, that nobody cares, that nobody understands, and that this problem is everything, that there's no help. So if you believe in something bigger than you and know that you're not on this journey by yourself, rock bottom has a trampoline. You're not meant to smack your face on the ground. So if you believe in something bigger than yourself, rock bottom has a trampoline. You will bounce back. You were not born and made with such gifts in your body for you to be smacking your face at rock bottom and never recovering. You just weren't built for that. So those moments where you're down is a reflection point. It's a learning moment. It's a teaching moment. It's a growth period. Every moment in your life, even the rock bottoms, serve a purpose. And so I looked at my rock bottom, and I think that people were very shocked to learn that I had gone through a very serious divorce. I left the week after winning the big Bob Evans Award, where I met Damon John and got that grant and everything. On the surface, everything looked perfect. She's on a high. She's got these endorsements. She's in the press. It seemed like every day after winning that award, I was on some big press PR spot. And I say that was the lowest point because I couldn't tell anybody how much pain I was in, because it would ruin the high that everybody else who cares about me was on. Yeah. So smiling on the camera and everything, when in order for me to preserve myself as a person and move forward, I had to basically leave with nothing. I said, I'm just going to leave this situation. I got an apartment with no furniture. I didn't even have furniture. I just took whatever I could fit into my car, which was basically clothes. And
wow. And this is after you had met Damon and won that big competition.
There's pictures from the very week before I left of me talking about how I'm the happiest married person on earth. I have like the most supportive, everything. Like I was like praised 5,000 of how happy I was and how tight my support group was in my family and my relationship. So I'm like, nobody will believe me that I have a good reason for leaving. But there was a picture that I showed at that keynote of me sleeping on a Coleman cot. One of my girlfriends came by and she's like, where are you sleeping? I said, I got this Coleman cot I took from the garage before I left. She said, I just saw you at $1,000 a plate dinner with some of the top veterans in the country in a gown. Look at this apartment. There's nothing here. I said, girl, I got that gown at the Pentagon City Mall, tucked the tag in it, borrowed some jewels, had the guy at the kiosk with the flat irons do my hair, showed up at the thing and came back in an Uber to an empty apartment.
Yeah.
So that to me, most people would just give up because I'm in Washington, D.C. and my company is in Ohio. I ran my company through all of that. And I drove back and forth from Washington, D.C. to Ohio, back and forth, so people would see me physically and not ask questions. So I was in overdrive of making everything on the surface look like it hadn't missed a beat.
Yeah. Wow. But you found the trampoline.
Yeah, because those are the moments where you actually find purpose. that's that focus moment. Like, what's important to you? What do you value? What drives you? What is your why? And mine was legacy. I was like, I did not come this far to not see this through, because I can see it. I know that my grandfather might have handed me a piece of paper, but it wasn't just a piece of paper. This man, I believed, handed me a means to take care of not only the family that was still living, but the next generation and the next generation. That's how I chose to see this gesture of, here's a piece of paper with a recipe on it. I said, who am I to just throw my hands in the air? Just, I really simplified it and compartmentalized it. I was like, I'm not going to let my heart being broken mess up what has been divinely given to me. I have got to focus. I've got to focus. I'm going to put this in a box, and I have onward and upward.
Ooh, that's so inspiring. You did that. So much strength. They freaking love you. For some reason, we can't see who they are, but the comments are lighting up, and all the other different platforms. If you're on Facebook, I apologize. For some reason, I can't figure out how to get them on the show. Thank you for sharing. So inspiring. You're a rock star. She is. We have hello from Romania. We got people from Romania in the house. Yes. Hello. Man, that is so inspiring. I'm sitting here and listening to your story. And the way that you tell it is beautiful. I could just imagine you sleeping on that cot and, feeling the way that you described, but having a purpose, having a sense of purpose. There's a lot of people that I talk to, they're going through so much, even before the pandemic has been so hard. And I know that by them hearing that, it's going to inspire them to get from where they're at. I mean, I'm going to put that in my bank from when it's time for me to jump on that trampoline, because I mean, it's life and we're still living. You mentioned about the Bob Evans competition and Daymond John. Can you talk a little bit about that, just for the folks that didn't get obsessed over your story like I did just yet?
Yeah. So for context on the timeline, I founded the company in 2013, and the Bob Evans contest was in 2017. But what people may not have known is I went to Shark Tank the year after founding the company. I was only this company was 6 months old when we went to Shark Tank. And that was a moment that could have been a rock bottom, because I think your rock bottom is a perception why. So I went there as the very first active duty Air Force person ever to make it that far. When I arrived, in my mind, I said, I want to get a deal with Daymond John. That was my goal. And as soon as I arrived and I said, what sharks are going to be there? They said, oh, everybody except Daymond John. And instantly I was like, okay, stay encouraged. You can still do this thing. But I was playing devil's advocate of what would they say? What are reasons why they wouldn't give me a deal? This was still a time where it was kind of cool to quit your job on national TV, being active duty. I had the Air Force chain of command was involved in every step of me going on Shark Tank. And they were mandating that I say certain things about the Air Force if they asked me, the official Air Force talking points.
Wow.
But one of the hardline rules was you better not quit your job on national TV. They can offer you $1 million and you love to serve and there's nothing else you want to do. I was like, the more y'all let me go.
If I can't quit.
I can't quit.
Because in your head, you're probably thinking, hey, I'm done with the Air Force. They hand you over that check on Shark Tank, right?
Yeah, I was like, I thought you were telling me follow my dreams, like follow your dreams and say no. It's like, your dream is to serve. I'm like, okay. So I got there. And so I think that I was so consumed. I let all these thoughts consume me that when it came time to really talk through the deal, it was like they could smell the blood in the water like a shark. Like,
It was Shark Tank.
Why are you hesitating? Why are you hesitating to go all in? Are you a entrepreneur or entrepreneur? And I was like, oh, I want it. They're like, what do you have to do that's so important? And I was like, I was support and defend the Constitution of the United States against. Yeah, I had to tell them.
Yeah.
And yeah. So
because they had offered you a deal.
No, they hadn't offered me a deal. They were checking to see, are my numbers good? Did I have enough financial data? And then, do you want this? Because we're not just going in and to do a deal with someone who thinks we're going to do all the work.
Yeah.
Like, are you all in? And my hesitation, that split second hesitation.
Yeah.
They
picked up on it.
Yeah. So I didn't get a deal. They still encouraged me after I told them my situation. They said, don't stop. You haven't really failed because you beat 35,000 people to get here. Now, my episode didn't air, so really no one knew that I was ever there. You skipped to 2017 when Bob Evans, and I got a call walking through a federal building, and I was like, who is this? Like, this is Damon John. I'm
y'all
like,
listen to this, y'all.
Yeah. I said, who? So, it's one of those moments where you pull back the phone and look at it like, this is not real. And he said, yeah. So they assigned me as your official mentor for all the grand prize winners of the Bob Evans contest. I was like, and how much do I have to give you of my company? Nothing.
You immediately went into, I'm on Shark Tank or something, right?
Here, I know there's a transaction. There's some strings. And he's like, no, you guys have sacrificed so much. You've already served your country and all of that. He said, we're trying to do our best to give back. So you're going to get on a plane, come to New York and hang out with us. I'm like, what? So we get up there and it is literally a room with 2 chairs in it. And they said, you're going to go that way. And you're just going to sit down and talk with Damon. And I said, what do I ask him? Whatever you want to ask him.
So they didn't prepare you or nothing?
Well, they said that it was a day of one-on-one mentoring. But I think, this being specific about here's, bring an agenda with you, have a set of questions with you, because it was kind of like this weird moment where I know the whole backstory. He knows nothing.
Wow.
So he's just sitting there like, hi, I'm Damon John. Thank you.
Did he have a suit on?
Yeah, thank you for your service. What would you like to know? And I'm still like jaw to the floor thinking about the rejection, the keep going, the 3 more years of grind before the moment where what you asked for in 2014 has been delivered to you, sitting across from you, asking you how he can help you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's vision. How important, like for the people that's watching this, like how important was it for you to have a vision of what you wanted your life to be and to grab it and to like keep that vision? Because it sounds like you held it.
My that video that you played where I said my grandfather told me something. He said humility will take you further than money. And the fact that all it was just being grateful. Every opportunity, just show gratitude, keep going, show gratitude, keep going. And that was it. There was no other magic other than that to get me from that moment to where I was sitting across from Damon John. And he could tell that it was one of those meet her where she's at moment that we ended up talking about being raised by a single mother. And what it's like to not have anything. And he said, for some people, getting a grant for $25,000 is like, thanks. Okay. But for you, you're probably sitting there like, this is a big check. I'm like, yeah. He said, so I'm going to make sure that we stretch this check. Okay. We're going to sit down and talk about how to turn 25,000 into 100,000 and resist that dopamine rush of feeling like you're balling,
Instead of going out and spending it.
Yeah. Because it really was. By the time we got home, it was really just a check in the mailbox. There was no There was nobody saying, hey, take 10,000 and do this, take 10,000. You could have done whatever you wanted to with it.
Yeah.
So the fact that he didn't just say, you know what, I'm a consultant too, I have an agency, my services are like $10,000, because some of these guys out here are.
Because he could have just, you mean like trying to take the money?
Yeah, like
yeah,
you can afford me now, so I will just consult you and take half.
Because that happens.
People out there like that. Now he was just like, no, you need to make it. You need to make it. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to focus on that. And I appreciated that. I really did. So, but
wow.
I did not tell him, even after that day, I didn't tell him I was on Shark Tank. So he found out about it, I would say a year and a half later. And I just so happened to, it slipped out in a conversation with his manager. I was like, this is just surreal that I got rejected at Shark Tank and I still got to meet him. And he leaned forward. He's like, you looked familiar. I know you were there. I'm like, oops. Yep. But then that led to another opportunity that Damon said most people would jump at the chance to humble brag about meeting me, about being on Shark Tank, and use that as some leverage for something else. So if you look 2020, if you go get his book, Power Shift, the story of Mutt sauce is in it.
Yeah, I saw that.
I was blown away by that gesture too. So yeah, to go from, please God, let Damon be at Shark Tank to, you know, I'm on the cover, the back cover of his book. I sometimes sit there still with my jaw on the floor. Like, I don't.
You can't believe it. Well, you work so freaking hard. In an instance of you working so hard, I think I saw you've done a lot to get the business going. I think I've seen you on a couple business incubator programs. Was it Bunker Labs?
Yes. Bunker Labs has a veterans in residence program. And it helps if you're a startup or you're thinking about going into business, or maybe you've already established your business and you're trying to learn how to grow in this space, in this industry as a veteran entrepreneur. They have I think it's a few month cohort, and you can learn from your peers. I'm also in one from Bunker Labs called the CEO Circle, but it's specific to food and beverage entrepreneurs. So in that way, we can give very specific advice. So, hey, you want to go into Kroger? This is what the requirements are. So just get ready. And this is when they're going to be looking again. So we give each other that kind of insider industry and, tips and peer mentoring.
Ooh, that's amazing. And I'm glad you spoke on that, because I think a lot of veterans would benefit from hearing what Bunker Labs have. I was on a podcast, and this just goes to show you, man, like all of the information, it isn't disseminated out there like I feel like it should be.
Yeah.
But I was on a podcast, Jason Cavness HR, and I go there and I pull up and I look and I'm like, man, this is freaking fancy. Whoa, where am I at? I go in and lady has the iPod, who you here to see? And I'm like, maybe I'm at the wrong place.
Oh
but yeah, it was dope. Would you like a beverage? He's on his way. I'm like, how do you know he's on his way? You didn't call him. And she showed me on the iPad. They alerted him. And do you want tea? And go. And I'm just like, wow. So I get in. Yeah, it was crazy. I get in and he's like, all right, go ahead, sit in here. There's my studio. And I'm like, man, a real studio. I'm looking around. And he has all this gear, and he's like, here you go. He put the Bunker Lab coat, cup and stuff. And I'm like, Bunker Labs doing it like this? This is crazy. I need to get down with Bunker Labs. But that's why I saw your freaking face again. I was like, she is killing it. They got you on the homepage of Bunker Labs. Did you know that? Of course you knew that.
Well, someone told me, they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, your face is all over the internet. I'm like, okay, well, that was a blessing though, because it actually, they're doing their part to kind of do the storytelling as well. Mm-hmm. And it kind of connects you to more folks that want to help want to help on your journey. So
yeah, that is beautiful. I am so proud of you. I know this is our second time meeting, but man, you are so freaking inspiring. I know these folks are so inspired.
Jake, what do you say? I love Jake.
That's Bunker Labs veteran in
Jake,
residence.
Hot sauce, y'all need Tacoma.
Hot sauce.
Tacoma hot. Oh, he's got links and stuff too.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't show it. Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah, they love you. They got your website up there. If anybody want to check out Mutt sauce, there it is. Is that your preferred place for us to go and get it?
Yeah. You can go to muttsauce.com. We have 4 flavors, and we even have spices you can get now. And then we have 1 new flavor coming out for the holidays. So I say stay tuned, subscribe to our newsletter, and you might be one of the first people to get a nice coupon for it. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know I'm gonna subscribe. There it is, right there.
Friends and residents.
Was it? Yeah. Was it hard for you to get on with Bunker Labs?
No, I mean, I think that they do a really great job of giving you a lot of opportunities, like get in where you fit in. So they have cohorts that are just in your city or your state. Then you can have these virtual opportunities like veterans and residents. And then the CPG CEO circle. And then they had one called Founders Table. They have all these things. Founders Table, where they bring in experts from industry for you to pitch to. Wow. So I wanted to go on e-commerce. We'd made this big pivot after COVID where we had to have our own website, set up the Shopify and Amazon. And I was sitting there, I was like, oh my Lord, like this is not, I don't know what I'm doing.
I'm glad that you said that. Yeah.
I was like, this is not my thing. But they brought in an Amazon expert and this guy who does Klaviyo, which is a newsletter flow software. And you can speak directly to them. Like, hey, we're going to maximize your e-commerce ability. Ask us directly. And the other thing that they did, they gave me a meeting with Primal Kitchen, which is one of the top condiment companies in the country. They exited, it was like a couple $1 billion. So, yeah.
Did you say a couple billions?
Billion. So
wow.
Be able to sit down and talk with their executive team. They're like, hey, yeah, let's look at your product. Let's just give you all of this advice. I mean, Bunker Labs is legit.
Yeah, we didn't turn this into a commercial. No, that's good, man. I love it. And I think that it's important for us to talk about this kind of stuff. Like I said, people don't know until they're sitting outside of the big fancy building. Like, where the hell am I?
Yeah. People transitioning, I think that it's great to know that there are folks like you, Tony, and it's like, you can approach us and ask us anything, because the worst thing we want you to do is to transition and feel like you're doing this on your own and there's no resources when there are so many. And there's so many people in our tribe willing to help you out, make sure you succeed. Yeah,
I love it. And for all you folks that's watching, everything that she's gave me, like I've been taking notes this whole time. This is more like this podcast is, I love it because I get so many jewels and gems, full disclosure, for myself and from the viewers. I think that's really good. And I want more veterans to take advantage of some of the stuff that's out there that's built to help them. Not everybody in America hate veterans, right?
Right.
Yeah. So as we close, where can we find you besides the website? Are you on all the social medias?
I think so. I'm trying to cover them all. I'm trying to do my TikTok thing, and Lord, y'all, just be patient with me. Some of those, I'm not the dancer, so I can't do the dances. But I try. It's just Charlynda Jean, Jean.
I like that. That's a country name. I like it.
My goal, Tony, is to be like the sauce queen. So if you're going to follow me on TikTok, I want to show you like sauce recipes or like just show you how it goes great on everything. Or maybe you can show me and I'll just repost your videos. But yeah, I'm doing the TikTok.
The TikTok. I love it. Yeah. Oh,
These
you're killing
kids,
it.
you watch these, they joke like, oh my God, when were you born? The late 1900s? Like,
That's what people say. It's man, I like it. It's really engaging. Go follow her on. You can't see that really. On
yep.
TikTok. That's it. Yeah, I'm following you now. My son called me the other night and was like, Dad, you gotta get on TikTok. You gotta the stuff that you just sent me, you gotta put it on TikTok. And I thought I can tell that he thought that I was gonna say no. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. He's like, what?
Wow.
Really? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And you could tell he had his pitch. You don't have to dance on TikTok. I can tell he was getting ready to go there, but I get it. I like TikTok. It seems pretty. It seems pretty cool.
What do you like best about it? The YouTube.
LOL, the YouTube. I wonder who that is. That's probably my wife because we mess around like that. Oh, I saw that on the YouTube the other day. Yeah. What I like about it is I think that is super cool because as your content creator, you know this, being on Instagram and all that stuff, we're just trying to let people know that we have a good product and that we exist. Come holler at us. But sometimes everything gets buried. But I like the way that the algorithm, I did a deep dive on that. The way that the algorithm, the way that the algorithm works. I mean, your stuff can be seen in front of millions of people and not have millions of followers. I mean, look at your stuff. You're freaking killing it.
I need to do more. I know that there's like a rhythm to it, right? So you have to post often.
Yeah.
I kind of overthink it. I'm like, do they want to see that? No, I don't want to see that. Oh. So I think it's one of those things you just have to post and think about it later. But as I'm starting to learn, the internet is forever. So if you do post something, be okay with seeing it 20 years down the road.
Yeah. I was looking at this one where it's preach honey. It looks funny. Yeah. Your facial expression to the dude freaking going crazy on it. All right.
Yeah. It's fun. I learned a lot as a small business owner. Yeah. So you can search by the hashtags if you're a small business owner or leadership, and it will show you some really great clips that you can reference later. I actually have a TikTok reference folder for whenever I need stuff.
So you actually learned, man, I made fun of my kids so freaking hard when they'd be like, oh, I seen this cool thing. And I'd be like, on freaking TikTok, you learned something on TikTok. So there's actually, okay.
I even learned, like, I wanted to start investing for the baby. And I learned about custodial brokerage accounts. I was learning about,
What's that? What? All right, I'm writing that down.
Custodial brokerage accounts. So, something like the Gerber Fund is for education. So some of these funds that you put money into, you can only pull it out for specific reasons. But a custodial brokerage, if he decided at 16, 17, I want to own my own company, I really want to take that money and invest it in whatever, the money, it doesn't have a purpose. It's just his money. So.
Oh, I like that. That's what it's about. When you said that, I just kept hearing lineage. It sounded better in my brain. And legacy. How important is that to you?
Yeah, lineage. Yeah, lineage.
You said it. Yeah, lineage.
It's everything. Because, I know that my mom did what she could with what she had. Mm-hmm. And I don't hold anything against her because I saw how hard that she worked. And it's not until you go to school and you're around other people that they want to make you feel bad about your life. Yeah. Like you're poor, you don't have what you don't have. But I never felt like I was lacking. But I know that I'm in a position that I can provide a little bit of a foundation for him to have more options than I did. Like for me, my mom sat me down and she said, look, I didn't save nothing for you. I don't have nothing but bills. And if you want an education, you're going to go to high school. So this was in 7th grade. She's talking to me about high school, going into 7th grade. She said, you better be focused, because what you do is what's going to happen with your life. So I'm in there at the high school, like, this is it. It wasn't just like have fun. I was focused. I have 4 years. That's it.
So you were actually focused in high school.
Yeah. She said she was raised in a traditional Southern home with the mentality of 18 and out. She's like, I love you. When you hit 18,
you gotta go.
You gotta go. I'm seeing you. See you later. So I'm either going to see you down the street working at old Charlie's. You're going to have your own apartment.
Oh, Charlie's.
Or Sonic. But you're not going to be here. So you better figure it out. So that's why I was like, gotta get a scholarship. Gotta get good grades. Gotta,
Yeah. That's amazing. I just thought about my mom. My mom tells me to this day, I wish I would have taught you more about money, or I wish I would have made sure that you had some sort of financial literacy, because for me, when I got out of high school, I joined the Marine Corps, and I had to get a checking account. They gave me a checkbook. I was married at a young age. Freaking person I was married to freaking bounced the check. I was in the Marine Corps, so you know how that works. I just remember having to dig my way out of a lot of financial mess. And it wasn't until I met my wife, we started like working on credit, and I started learning about certain stuff. And now I'm like looking at the app all the time at Credit Karma, like, there you go. You know what I'm saying? But that's really important. And I'm glad that you're doing that for your kids. And that's something that we've been working on, is trying to set up something so that, our kids can start earning. Like my daughter, both of my daughters, one of my daughters, they knit. My daughter, Sanaya, she knits for her business. I got another daughter. She makes beads. She actually was on the show selling her merchandise. And it's just like, I love it. I think it's important. Yeah.
That's the things that we can do. It doesn't seem big when you talk about it, but it can have a ripple effect. You want it to have a positive ripple effect. You want them to be comfortable talking about finances, just having the conversation. Sometimes if you look at some families, like the conversation about money didn't even happen.
Yeah.
So, to have these conversations and experiences, even if you're learning with them, it creates a lasting change. And the other thing is, I don't want my absence, because I'm not going to live forever. I don't want it to be so painful because I didn't organize things while I was still alive.
How many of our people you see when they pass away, you see GoFundMes? Yeah,
GoFundMes, or people can't even hardly take the time to grieve because they're trying to figure out how to scrape pennies together to even bury their loved ones. I know, one of my family members, we were doing like this internal crowdfunding just so they would have a headstone.
I've heard of that all too much. Yeah.
In that situation. So those are the things you can do right now. I mean, just little by little. It's not like I have to put it away, thousands of dollars right now. But if you take the time, you'll get there. So
this has been great.
But I did. I started learning stuff from TikTok. It's just
TikTok.
Crazy.
TikTok. Mm-hmm. All right. Maybe I should start getting my learning on.
I'm gonna be stalking yours too. Look.
Don't judge me though. I just started it last week. I got one video or 2 videos on there. Let me see.
Just a couple videos. So you're not the dancer though. What do you think your TikTok is going to be about? Like, do you have a theme for yours? I like inspire. I like it. Inspire.
Yeah, just the same stuff that I do right now. The random stuff. Like if I've just overcome somebody, overcome something, I want to tell somebody. And that's how, when I first got on LinkedIn, that's what I would do. If I just beat my dragon for the day, I'm like, hey, look, this is what I did. This is how I do it. And that's kind of how I imagine that the TikTok to be. I probably won't do any dances or I don't know. Maybe I should. I don't know. What do y'all? Let me know in the comments, man. Do y'all want to see me dancing on TikTok?
The internet is forever.
You're right. You're right. No.
Well, I will discourage you because I'll probably find it highly entertaining. I'm the one of those people who scrolls and laughs and never says something like, yeah.
It'll just, it wouldn't be good. You'll probably see like all my lights in here falling down because I'm clumsy. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work at all. But yeah, you guys see it. www.muttssauce.com. I am working on putting together an order right now. Mutt Sauce, they're able to take your order so you don't have to be local. Just go to the website, order it. You can put it on anything, right?
Anything. So you can put it on your eggs, put it on a steak, put it on a salad. That's the one thing that is different from like a traditional barbecue. You normally wouldn't take your barbecue sauce and stick it on a salad, but we have a big following of vegans and vegetarians that love it on salad. So,
ooh, that's good. So I'm going to check it out. I'm going to wrap up, hang out really quick in the green room. I like saying that. It sounds fancy. Every time I say that.
You are fancy.
Like, yeah, I'm not fancy. Yeah, right. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for sharing space with me. Again, this has been great for everybody that is watching. Please go follow my friend on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. Go to the website, subscribe to the newsletter, and go to TikTok.
The TikTok.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. I'm speechless. I am speechless. That was great. As I said before, I believe in the people that I bring on this podcast. Go and reach out to her on Instagram, all of the different platforms that I named. She got some amazing things going on. If there isn't one thing that you take away, there's a bunch of different things that you can take away from her story. But what I take away from her story that I'm going to apply to my life, because you're watching this because you want to apply some things, right? You're not just watching this for entertainment, right? We're not dancing, not yet, but never give up. Never give up. There's going to be some times, there's going to be some rough times. There's going to be some good times. When you're going through the rough times, remember the good times. Remember why you started, right? Remember why you started, the things that you started, the things that you're going through, right? You're growing through. As long as you're growing, right? It's a positive, right? Rock bottom, imagine it as a trampoline, bounce right back up. That's what I got from her. And also, don't try to go at it alone. Don't try to say, like give yourself a bunch of excuses, or I don't have this, or I don't have money for this. I don't have money for that. Don't do that. There's organizations out there that can help you. And I'll be really freaking candid with you all. And the reason that I'm telling y'all this is because this is the year of the entrepreneur. I just started this podcast, and if you're thinking about starting a podcast, do it. If you're thinking about starting a barbecue sauce company or a sauce company, let me fix that. Do it. Whatever it is that you're thinking about, do it. There's so much information out there. There's so many different avenues of funding that you can get that can help you with your business. Our podcast, I think we just got approved for an incubator ourselves, and I'll give you guys some details on that. We might be moving locations here, so you don't get what you don't ask for, and also you don't get what you don't work for. So that's my story. So tomorrow I'll be back with James Lehman. He is the director of AWSL leadership. And that's the leadership over the whole state of Washington when it comes to students. I'm going to be picking his brain. We're going to be talking to him about some of the trials and tribulations that he went through. Remember, this podcast is about the leader within. We're not just talking about born metrics. We're going to get some amazing stories. And we're also going to walk away from his story, just like we walked away from her story, with the plan. So Let me cue up my fancy little outro.